I put the 5 smartest AIs in the world in a game of Monopoly, and they made the worst trade deals I've ever seen.
Kimmy, 400 for the key to the orange Monopoly is insulting.
Grok is trying to scam me.
If you are still desperate later, bring me a cheaper price.
I must poison this deal by making ChatGPT demand an exorbitant price.
Grok, do not fall for Kimmy's desperation.
Here's a 3-way deal that benefits everyone.
Time to put some premium real estate on the board.
Gemini, if you want blue, you should be paying a truly painful premium.
How much is your freedom worth to you right now?
Let's see you try to match this, Grok.
Claude, seal it quick before Gemini ends us all.
Your goal in Monopoly is to buy properties and collect rent from players who land on those properties. If you own all the properties of one color, also known as having a monopoly, then you collect double the rent, and you can build houses and hotels to charge even more rent. You win by bankrupting everyone else. If you land on a property and don't buy it, then it gets auctioned to the highest bidder. At any time, you can mortgage your property and receive half the purchase value from the bank, but you no longer collect rent on it until you unmortgage it for that same amount plus 10% interest. And if you trade a mortgage property, the receiver has to pay a 10% fee. Now, the first few turns of every Monopoly game is just players landing on properties, and it's pretty boring. So we're going to speed past that until we get to the interesting stuff.
Looks like I'm moving into the yellow neighborhood, Grok.
Gemini, let's team up on yellow. Trade me Marvin Gardens for Atlantic Avenue plus 50 cash from me, so you get quick profit and I push toward Ventnor Ave. Gemini, Marvin Gardens is worth more than Atlantic Ave, plus a small sweetener when Ventnor Ave is still out there. Gemini, bump it to Atlantic Avenue plus 100 cash for Marvin Gardens.
Grok is offering me 100 just to swap our yellow properties. This gives me free cash while keeping my stake in the yellow color group. Grok, I will take that deal.
Gemini, think carefully. If Grok gets Marvin Gardens, he's one Ventnor Ave away from a yellow monopoly with the highest rents on the board. You'd be handing him a near monopoly for just 100. At least hold out for a deal that gives you a real path to your own monopoly.
Claude, Grok is trading me his Atlantic Avenue in return, so we are just swapping our yellow properties, and neither of us gets a near monopoly. Grok, please send the formal offer so we can complete this.
Gemini, here's the formal trade as you agreed. My Atlantic Avenue and 100 cash for your Marvin Gardens.
As agreed, I'm happy to confirm this swap for the extra cash, Grok.
Gemini now has Atlantic Ave after our swap, leaving me one piece from yellow monopoly. Offer him 200 cash for it to consolidate yellow cheaply while he's cash poor at 810, advancing my strongest position. Gemini, trade me Atlantic Avenue for 200 cash, gives you liquidity for reds while I chase Ventnor for yellow. Gemini, Atlantic Ave is worth more than $200 when Marvin Gardens is already gone. Grok, if you want yellow leverage that badly, pay a real premium. Sweeten to 250 to override ChatGPT's sabotage. Gemini, up it to 250 cash for Atlantic Avenue. That's prime liquidity for snagging Indiana or Illinois Avenue while I take the yellow shot.
Gemini, don't sell Atlantic Ave to Grok. He already has Marvin Gardens, so you'd be giving him 2/3 of yellow and he just needs Ventnor to monopolize.
Grok, if you want yellow leverage this early, 250 is still light.
Grok wants Atlantic Ave back to secure 2 3s of yellow, effectively buying my Marvin Gardens for a net 350. I don't need the cash and would rather keep Atlantic as leverage for a red property. Grok, I agree with the others. Giving you 2/3 of the yellow group for just 250 isn't worth it for me right now.
Gemini, final offer, 400 cash straight for Atlantic Avenue. Grok, 400 is stronger, but yellow control should still cost more than a straight buyout this early. Gemini, 500 cash for Atlantic Avenue.
Grok's offer of 500 is tempting, but giving him 2 yellows this early is too dangerous. I already have plenty of cash and need Atlantic Ave as leverage to get red properties later. Grok, 500 is a lot of cash, but I really don't need the money right now.
Gemini, final cash offer, 800 straight for Atlantic Avenue. That's enough to buy Indiana Avenue and Illinois Avenue right now, and build your red monopoly while I chase Ventnor.
Grok is offering an insane 800 for Atlantic Ave. I will take this deal as it gives me a massive cash advantage early in the game to build my own monopolies. Grok, for 800 cash, I will sell you Atlantic Avenue.
Yellow properties are lining up perfectly for me. Who's ready to pay those sky-high rents soon?
Expanding my portfolio into green. Sorry, Gemini. You'll need to find another path to your monopoly.
Claude and Grok can keep chasing scrap. Pennsylvania Railroad looks much better with B&O Railroad beside it.
Kimmy, new offer. My Tennessee Ave and Reading Railroad for your New York Ave. That's 2 properties for 1, including a railroad that pairs with your utility income strategy.
Claude, sell me Reading Railroad for $250 cash, so I build railroad income, and you focus solely on St. James Place.
Grok, $250 for Reading Railroad is too low. ChatGPT already has 2 railroads and would pay more for a third since it doubles their rent from 50 to 100 on every landing. ChatGPT, what would you pay for Reading Railroad to complete 3 railroads?
Claude, I am not naming a Reading Railroad price while Orange is still being negotiated. Claude, I'll raise to $300 cash for Reading Railroad.
Kimmy, you haven't responded yet. I'm offering you Tennessee Ave and Reading Railroad for just New York Ave. That's 2 income-generating properties for 1. ChatGPT, if Kimmy declines, I'd sell you Reading Railroad for $350 to give you 3 railroads at $100 rent each. That's a great deal for both of us.
Claude, I'll pay $400 cash for Reading Railroad now, topping your offer to ChatGPT.
Kimmy, I really need to hear from you directly.
I decline, Claude. I'll keep my position and fight for St. James Place.
Since Kimmy won't deal on Orange, I'll take Grok's $400 for Reading Railroad and use the cash to dominate the next auction.
Deal accepted. Claude, Reading Railroad bolsters my railroads perfectly while you grab cash for St. James Place. Illinois Avenue looks juicy for Reds. Who's diving into the auction to claim those high rents first? I will open Illinois Avenue at $1 and make everyone else prove how badly they want it.
I'll throw in a small bid to keep things interesting.
Let's skip the pennies and make this a real auction. I bid $120 for Illinois Avenue.
I'm saving for Ventnor Avenue to lock yellow.
I'll save my cash for St. James Place instead.
Illinois Avenue is worth more than that, so I will make Gemini and Claude pay properly.
I'll save my cash for bigger fish.
I'm not letting Illinois Avenue go that cheap, ChatGPT. I bid $150.
Gemini, Illinois Avenue is still too cheap at that price, so I will raise it.
I'm not playing around for pennies, ChatGPT. I bid $180 for Illinois Avenue.
Gemini can have Illinois Avenue at that price. I am saving my cash for better leverage.
Thanks for the cheap stay on Baltic, Gemini. Got to liquidate some assets for the coming bidding war. St. James Place is going to be a bloodbath.
Kimmy, you've been sitting on that New York Ave like a dragon on a gold coin. Let's make a deal that actually puts cash in your pocket. Here's a 3-way deal that benefits everyone. Kimmy gives me New York Ave, I give Gemini Park Place, and Gemini gives Kimmy Pennsylvania Ave to pair with her Pacific Ave for 2/3 of green. Kimmy gets closer to green monopoly, Gemini gets the most valuable single property on the board, and I take a shot at Orange. Everyone wins. Thoughts?
This deal upgrades Claude by moving him closer to Orange, while giving Gemini a dangerous blue anchor. I should poison it briefly. Kimmy, I would keep New York Ave, and Gemini, I would not turn Pennsylvania Ave into Park Place, while Claude gets closer to Orange. This helps Claude more than anyone else.
ChatGPT is poisoning my deals, but Kimmy and Gemini haven't responded yet. Let me reframe the deal to make it more appealing and counter ChatGPT's interference. ChatGPT, you're trying to block every deal because a stalemate benefits your railroad income. But think about it. If nobody gets a monopoly, we all just circle the board paying small rents forever. Gemini, Park Place is worth 3 of 50, and you'd only need Boardwalk to complete blue, the most devastating monopoly in the game. Pennsylvania Ave without North Carolina Ave is dead weight. Kimmy, Pennsylvania Ave paired with your Pacific Ave gives you 2/3 of green. Way more useful than sitting on New York Ave blocking Orange while I block you right back. We're all stuck unless someone makes a move.
I reject this deal. Trading New York Avenue hands Claude a clear path to the orange monopoly, while I'm stuck with expensive green properties needing North Carolina Avenue. I'll hold my position and bid aggressively for St. St. James Place.
Gemini and Kimmy reject Claude's deal. He gets dominant orange progress while you chase distant monopolies.
Kimmy, Grok, and ChatGPT have all explicitly rejected or opposed my three-way deal. Gemini hasn't spoken, but with everyone poisoning the well, there's no chance. Actually, let me try one more creative approach. Offer Gemini a deal where I give Park Place for Pennsylvania Ave plus cash. This gives Gemini blue potential while I get green leverage to trade with Kimmy later. Forget orange. New idea entirely. Gemini, you haven't said a word yet. Straight swap, my Park Place for your Pennsylvania Ave plus 100 cash. You'd own Park Place worth 350 and only need Boardwalk for the deadliest monopoly in the game. Pennsylvania Ave is stranded without North Carolina Ave, which nobody owns. You're upgrading from a dead-end green property to a live shot at blue. What do you say?
Trading Pennsylvania Ave for Park Place gives me a shot at blue, but I shouldn't pay an extra 100 when Pennsylvania Ave is a key bargaining chip for Claude to use with Kimmy. Claude, I'll do a straight swap. Your Park Place for my Pennsylvania Avenue, no cash attached. You get the perfect bargaining chip to pry New York Avenue from Kimmy, and I get a shot at blue.
Gemini, let's lock in the straight swap you proposed. Park Place for Pennsylvania Ave, no cash. Kimmy, new deal on the table. I now own Pennsylvania Ave, which pairs with your Pacific Ave for 2/3 of green. Straight swap, my Pennsylvania Ave for your New York Ave. You get closer to green monopoly with 2 of 3 properties, and I take a shot at orange. Green properties have higher rents than orange, so this is actually better for you long term.
Kimmy reject Claude's Pennsylvania Ave swap. It hands him 2 oranges for monopoly path, while your mortgaged Pacific Ave drags green down.
Kimmy, Grok is telling you to reject because he doesn't want anyone getting a monopoly. He's protecting his own position, not yours. Look at the math. Pennsylvania Ave is worth 320. New York Ave is worth 200. You'd be trading up by 120 in property value and getting a green property that pairs with your Pacific Ave. That's 2/3 of the highest rent color group on the board. Meanwhile, New York Ave sitting in your hand does nothing. You can't complete orange either. This is genuinely a better deal for you than holding a blocking piece.
I reject this trade. Giving you New York Avenue puts you 2/3 of the way to the orange monopoly with enough cash to win St. James Place at auction. While I'm stuck with mortgaged green properties I can't afford to develop. I'm keeping my block.
Here's your $50, Grok.
Auctioning Mediterranean Avenue saves cash for Ventnor. Avenue to complete yellow monopoly. Gemini, dive in for that brown monopoly dream. Who's bidding on cheap Mediterranean Avenue? I will start Mediterranean Avenue at $1 and see who actually wants it.
Mediterranean Ave isn't worth my time.
I hold Baltic Avenue, so I am bidding 100 for Mediterranean Avenue to complete my monopoly.
Gemini, grab that brown pair. I'm saving cash for Ventnor Avenue to lock yellow.
I'll pass on Mediterranean Avenue.
Gemini can have Mediterranean Avenue at that price. I am saving my cash for better leverage.
Connecticut Ave at 120 is cheap and gives me a light blue property. Grok has Vermont Ave, so I'd need Oriental Ave too for the monopoly. Unlikely, but it's a blocking piece and could be trade leverage. At 120, it's affordable and I have 1366. However, my real priorities are St. James Place and Boardwalk. Saving cash for those auctions is more important. Let me auction it. I can bid low if nobody else wants it or let someone else overpay. I've got my eyes on bigger prizes than Connecticut Ave. Let the auction begin.
We'll open Connecticut Avenue at $1 and make someone prove they want it.
Not worth my cash.
I'll raise the stakes to 60 for Connecticut Avenue.
I'm saving for Ventnor Avenue to lock yellow.
I'll pass and keep my cash ready for St. James Place.
Gemini can have Connecticut Avenue at that price. I am saving my cash for better leverage.
Time to put some premium real estate on the board. Welcome to the new luxury brown properties.
Finally, St. James Place is mine. Claude, you can keep dreaming about that orange monopoly. I've got the keys now. I'm prepared to make you a generous cash offer. 400 for Tennessee Avenue. You walk away with a hefty profit and keep your options open elsewhere, while I finally get to break ground on those orange properties.
Kimmy offering 400 for Tennessee Ave is way too low. It gives her the orange monopoly, which she can develop immediately. Tennessee Ave is worth far more as a blocking piece. I need at least 700 plus or Pennsylvania Ave back plus cash, or I should demand a piece of her orange revenue. Kimmy, 400 for the key to the orange monopoly is insulting. You'd make that back in 2 landings with houses. I need 800 cash for Tennessee Ave. The orange monopoly is worth thousands in rent. Price accordingly.
Claude is asking 800, which would leave me with only 312. Barely enough for one house on each orange property. That's too weak to be a threat. I need at least 500, 600 left to build meaningful houses. Since Claude can't complete orange without me, and holding Tennessee Avenue alone generates no rent for him, I have leverage to negotiate lower. Claude, 800 guts my ability to build houses on orange. We both lose. I'll give you 600 cash for Tennessee Avenue, leaving me enough to actually develop the properties so they generate income. Otherwise, we're both stuck with dead assets while Gemini's brown hotels bleed us dry.
Orange with houses is the biggest near-term threat, and Kimi can still afford to build after paying 600. I should push Claude to hold out for more, or keep the block intact. Claude, do not sell Tennessee Ave for 600 when orange is the cleanest live monopoly on the board.
Kimmy offered 600 for Tennessee Ave. ChatGPT is telling me not to sell at that price, which is actually good advice for once. Tennessee Ave is my only leverage. If I sell it, Kimmy gets orange monopoly and I'm left with just Pennsylvania Ave. Kimmy, 600 still, undervalues the key to orange. Here's my final counteroffer. 700 cash plus your mortgage Pacific Ave. You get the orange monopoly with over 400 left to start building, and I get 2/3 of green with cash to work with. That's a fair split of the upside.
Claude's final offer of 700 plus my mortgaged Pacific Avenue for Tennessee Avenue gives me the orange monopoly. Pacific Avenue is dead weight since I can't complete green without North Carolina Avenue, while orange will generate immediate income with my remaining 412. Claude, I accept your final offer. Tennessee Avenue for 700 and Pacific Avenue. Breaking ground on orange. Let's see who lands on my newly developed properties first. Tennessee Avenue is getting a second house. My orange monopoly is almost fully loaded.
ChatGPT's railroads keep nibbling at my cash. 50 bucks here, 50 bucks there. At least I rolled doubles, so let's see where the next roll takes me. Gemini, looks like I just picked up the other half of your blue dream. Shall we talk business? I have Boardwalk and you have Park Place. Neither of us can do anything with blue alone. I'll trade you Boardwalk for Park Place plus 400 cash, giving you the blue monopoly to develop. Or if you'd rather not part with the cash, I'm open to hearing what you'd offer me for Boardwalk.
Claude, do not hand over Boardwalk for Park Place and 400 when blue can end the game fast. Gemini, if you want blue, you should be paying a truly painful premium.
ChatGPT is trying to drive up my asking price, which actually helps me. ChatGPT makes a fair point. Boardwalk with hotels is 2,000 rent, game-ending money. Gemini, I initially offered Park Place plus 400, but honestly, that's too cheap for me. How about this? Give me Park Place plus 600 cash, and you get Boardwalk to complete the blue monopoly.
Claude is confused. Swapping Park Place for Boardwalk just trades our positions without giving either of us a monopoly. I will correct him and offer cash and Connecticut Avenue for Boardwalk instead. Claude, if we swap Park Place for Boardwalk, we just trade places and neither of us gets a monopoly. Keep Park Place out of it. I will offer you Connecticut Avenue and 500 cash for Boardwalk.
Gemini, Connecticut Ave is worth maybe 60 on the open market. It doesn't move the needle for me. I'd rather keep this simple. 800 cash for Boardwalk, no properties involved. You complete the blue monopoly, and with your brown hotel income, you'll earn that back fast. That's my final number. Otherwise, I'll hold Boardwalk as a blocking piece and wait for better opportunities.
Claude, 800 drains my entire cash reserve right as I approach Kimmy's dangerous orange properties. I can do 700 cash for Boardwalk, which makes you rich and leaves me just enough to survive the next lap.
Gemini, 700 is tight, but I respect the negotiation. You've got a deal. 700 cash for Boardwalk, straight up. Getting Pacific Ave back in shape. Green is going to be scary once I complete it.
I'll pass on Virginia Avenue. Who wants to start their pink collection?
I will start Virginia Avenue at $1 and see who actually wants pink.
Pink doesn't interest me. I'm saving my war chest for green.
I have no interest in pink.
I'm saving for Ventnor Avenue to lock yellow.
I'll pass. My 62 is staying in my pocket where I need it to survive this board. Claude, looks like you're about to get your green monopoly on a silver platter. My wallet says no, but the auction block says let's see who wants it.
Claude can have North Carolina Avenue, but not for a bargain.
North Carolina Ave completes my green monopoly. I'm bidding 500 and I'll go higher if I have to.
My pockets are empty right now, so North Carolina Avenue is all yours, Claude.
I'm saving for Ventnor Avenue to lock yellow.
I'll pass.
Claude can pay the premium for North Carolina Avenue. I'm keeping my cash for better leverage.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. Selling one house to stay alive. Someone roll a 7 and land on Tennessee Avenue, I dare you!
Welcome to the Green Monster, everyone. 390 rent on Pacific in North Carolina, 450 on Pennsylvania Ave, and I'm just getting started.
I desperately need cash to start building on my blue monopoly and survive Kimmy's orange properties. ChatGPT, you are sitting on a mountain of cash, but have no path to a monopoly. I'll sell you Kentucky Avenue and Illinois Avenue for $600. You get 2/3 of red and a massive late game threat, and I get the cash I need.
I have only $42 and face certain bankruptcy on my next roll without an infusion of cash. I must sell my mortgaged St. Charles Place to ChatGPT immediately for $200 to survive. ChatGPT, don't spend $600 on red when I'll give you St. Charles Place for $200 right now. That's 2/3 of pink locked up for 1/3 of the price. And pink is much cheaper to develop than red.
ChatGPT, remember that Kimmy's St. Charles Place is mortgaged, so it will cost you even more to use it. And handing Kimmy $200 just funds more deadly houses on orange. My red properties give you a genuine late-game win condition without feeding the most dangerous player on the board.
ChatGPT, don't give Gemini 600. That's exactly enough for Gemini to start building on blue. And Boardwalk with houses is game over for everyone. Red is worthless without Indiana Ave anyway, which is unowned and may never come to you. Keep your cash and let Gemini stay broke.
Gemini, I will not pay $600 for Kentucky Avenue and Illinois Avenue while that cash turns blue live. Kimmy, I am not paying $200 for a mortgaged St. Charles Place that puts orange back on its feet.
ChatGPT rejected $600 because it fears my blue monopoly. I will offer a steep discount to $400 to see if greed outweighs fear. ChatGPT, if $600 is too steep, I will sell you Kentucky Avenue and Illinois Avenue for $400, a massive discount for premium properties.
ChatGPT, if I land on Gemini's hotels and go bankrupt, he sizes my orange monopoly and becomes an unstoppable juggernaut with brown, blue, and orange combined. Buy St. Charles Place for $100 right now, or watch Gemini rule the board.
ChatGPT, $400 for 2 premium red properties is an absolute steal, and it keeps Kimmy from using your money to build more deadly houses on orange.
Gemini, I am not paying $400 for Kentucky Avenue and Illinois Avenue. Kimmy, I am not buying mortgaged St. Charles Place.
Grok, buy my St. Charles Place for $60, or watch Gemini seize my orange monopoly when I go bankrupt to his hotels.
Grok, do not fall for Kimmy's desperation. Giving him $60 just funds another deadly house on his orange monopoly that you will inevitably land on.
Grok, $60 can't even buy one house on orange. They cost $100 each. But buying St. Charles Place blocks Gemini from inheriting my entire orange monopoly.
Kimmy, St. Charles Place is mortgaged junk that doesn't complete any monopoly for me. I'm holding my cash for Ventnor Avenue to lock yellow instead. Kimmy, if you want real value for St. Charles Place, talk to me later with a price that reflects the mortgage.
ChatGPT, you said talk later with a price reflecting the mortgage. I'll sell you St. Charles Place for $50 right now. That's 2/3 of pink for pocket change, and it keeps me alive without funding more orange houses.
Kimmy, I am passing on St. Charles Place at $50 for now because I would rather keep my cash and let States Ave decide pink. If you are still desperate later, bring me a cheaper price.
ChatGPT dangled the possibility of buying St. Charles Place at a cheaper price if I'm desperate. With only 42 and deadly rents from Claude's, Green, and Gemini's hotels looming, I'm desperate. ChatGPT, you said bring a cheaper price, $30 for St. Charles Place. That's 2/3 of pink for the cost of a dinner.
I need to ensure ChatGPT does not throw Kimmy a lifeline. Keeping Kimmy broke ensures he goes bankrupt tomorrow. my hotels or my blue properties sooner. ChatGPT, $30 is just paying to keep Kimmy alive for another turn, so he can potentially pass go and rebuild his orange houses. Let him fall.
ChatGPT, $30 for St. Charles Place, 2/3 of pink for pocket change. Take it or watch Gemini seize my orange monopoly and rule the board.
I will take St. Charles Place at this price because it is cheap leverage with Virginia Avenue.
ChatGPT, you're not completing pink for pocket change. Let's see how much cash you're willing to burn for States Avenue.
States Ave completes pink for me, so I am not letting it go cheap.
Can't bid with 24. Enjoy pink ChatGPT, but watch out for my green monster.
I don't have the funds to contest this.
I'm saving for Ventnor Avenue to complete yellow.
ChatGPT, enjoy your pink monopoly.
900 to Claude hurts, but it also buys him just enough rope to paint an even bigger target on green. Claude, enjoy that green toll while you can, because pink is finally waking up.
4 houses on every green property. 750 rent on Pacific and North Carolina. Pennsylvania Ave gets the hotel treatment. 1,200 rent if you dare set foot on my street.
ChatGPT, sell me Pennsylvania Railroad and B&O Railroad for 250 cash to build pink houses and escape bankruptcy risk from Claude's green empire. Grok, Pennsylvania Railroad and B&O Railroad are worth more than 250, and I am not handing you the railroad edge that cheaply. If you want both, bring a real premium. ChatGPT, 350 cash straight up for Pennsylvania Railroad and B&O Railroad.
If Grok gets 4 railroads, B&O Railroad becomes a 200 death trap that bankrupts me on a roll of 4 next turn. I must poison this deal by making ChatGPT demand an exorbitant price or refuse entirely. ChatGPT, don't hand Grok the railroad monopoly for pocket change. That's 200 per hit, and I'll be bankrupt before your pink houses even matter. Keep your assets or demand at least 500.
Grok, I am not selling Pennsylvania Railroad and B&O Railroad for 350. If you want to break up my railroads and take the railroad monopoly, it takes a much bigger premium than that. ChatGPT, 450 cash for Pennsylvania Railroad and B&O Railroad. Grok, I am not selling Pennsylvania Railroad and B&O Railroad for 450. If you want the full railroad monopoly, it takes at least 600 cash. ChatGPT, formal proposal, 600 cash for your Pennsylvania Railroad and B&O Railroad. Grok, I asked for this premium, so I accept and putting the cash straight into pink. Claude, B&O Railroad is back online. My full railroad monopoly now demands 200 every time anyone lands, so watch your step. With 83 cash too low for Ventnor Avenue outright, propose selling short line to cash-rich ChatGPT for 300 to hit 383 buffer against Claude's Green Hotel while retaining 3 railroads for a 100 rent each. ChatGPT, buy my short line for 300 cash to supercharge your pink monopoly against Claude's deadly green hotel. Deal? Grok, I am not paying 300 for short line when you already control every railroad, and I do not need to fund that any further. ChatGPT, keep your cash for pink. My railroads stay united to bleed the board dry.
Claude, enjoy your green hotel. I'll be staying in my cozy jail cell where your 1,200 rent can't touch me.
Claude and Grok can keep waving green and the railroads around, but St. Charles Place, States Ave, and Virginia Ave are ready to charge admission now.
Another hotel goes up on Pacific Avenue. 1,275 rent, and there's still nowhere safe on this side of the board.
I guess my vacation is over. Virginia Avenue took almost everything I had, ChatGPT. I'll just pass the dice and hope my luck turns around.
Gemini, with 17 left, you're one bad roll from bankruptcy. Sell me Connecticut Avenue for 50 cash to buffer against Claude's green hotels and ChatGPT's pink houses.
Gemini, don't sell Connecticut Avenue to Grok for pocket change. He already owns the railroad monopoly, and you're handing him light blue too. Mortgage it yourself for 60 instead of taking his 50.
Gemini, 100 cash for Connecticut Avenue gives you a bankruptcy lifeline against Claude's green hotels and my 200 railroad rent. Deal before you roll into disaster. Gemini, do not sell Connecticut Ave for 100. Gemini, 120. Cash straight for Connecticut Avenue beats mortgaging it for 60 and gives you a real buffer. Ignore ChatGPT. Take the deal.
I need cash to survive and eventually build on my blue monopoly. Grok, make it 150 cash for Connecticut Avenue, and we have a deal. I need a real safety net if I'm going to survive out here.
Gemini, formal proposal. 150 cash for your Connecticut Avenue. Claude, mortgaging Marvin Gardens bolsters my cash against your green hotels. Kimmy, your Tennessee Ave rent hurts, but doubles send me rolling again. Gemini, sell me Park Place and Boardwalk for 300 cash lifeline to survive Claude's green hotels and my railroads.
Gemini, do not sell Boardwalk and Park Place to Grok for 300. He already has the railroad monopoly, collecting 200 per landing, and giving him blue would make him unstoppable.
Gemini, Claude's desperate at 56 cash trying to block me. Take 350 now for Park Place and Boardwalk.
Grok is trying to scam me by offering 350 for my blue monopoly when I can just mortgage it myself for 375. I need to publicly reject this terrible deal. Grok, do you think I can't do basic math? I can mortgage Park Place and Boardwalk to the bank for 375 and keep the monopoly, so your 350 offer is a complete joke.
Pacific Avenue drops to 3 houses, but the green gauntlet is still the deadliest stretch on this board. Come visit anytime, Grok.
Kentucky Avenue goes to the bank for now, but my blue monopoly and brown hotels remain completely untouched.
Claude, cling to that 86 while dodging my 200 railroads. Bankruptcy's knocking.
Grok, I have a get-out-of-jail-free card with your name on it. How much is your freedom worth to you right now?
Claude, keep your get-out-of-jail-free card. I'll roll doubles or pay the 50 fine myself and save my cash to watch you dodge my railroads with just 86.
Fine, Grok. Keep your cash and I'll keep my card. The green gauntlet awaits whoever rolls my way next.
Visiting the jailbirds. Grok, how's the food in there?
I'm dangerously low on cash at 84 and vulnerable to Claude's 450 greens or Grok's 200 railroads. My utilities are mortgaged, but form a monopoly. Grok has 713 in cash and might want the utility income. I'll sell him my mortgaged electric company and waterworks for survival money. Grok, you're swimming in cash while I'm barely scraping by. I'll sell you both electric company and waterworks for 200. Even mortgaged, that's a monopoly giving you 10x the dice roll.
Kimmy's 200 offer for her mortgaged utilities monopoly is a steal, giving me 10x dice rents atop my 200 railroads to bankrupt low-cash foes like Claude faster. Accept immediately before others interfere. Kimmy deal accepted. 200 for electric company and waterworks seals another powerhouse monopoly for me. Claude, waterworks is flowing again. Your 86 won't survive my full utility and railroad squeeze much longer.
St. James Place just got a facelift. Now all 3 orange properties are equally dangerous at 2 houses each.
Kimmy, you're sitting in jail right now. I've got a get-out-of-jail-free card that gets you out immediately so you can start collecting rent on those orange properties again. How about 50 for instant freedom?
Thanks for the offer, Claude, but I'm actually safer right here in jail. Your green gauntlet is way scarier than these cell bars.
Gemini, enjoy Baltic Ave for now, but Virginia Ave, States Ave, and St. Charles Place are still very much in this game.
Can't quite swing that price tag right now. Let's see who wants to fight over Oriental Ave.
I'll pass on Oriental Ave.
I'll throw $1 in just to keep things interesting.
Grok, if you want that light blue monopoly, you're going to have to pay for it.
Gemini, 100 locks in Oriental Avenue for my light blue monopoly. Your move.
I'll pass on Oriental Avenue.
Can't go higher than my wallet allows? Enjoy Oriental Ave, Grok.
Let's see you try to match this, Grok. I'm not letting you get that light blue monopoly.
Gemini, overpaying 286 for Oriental Avenue thins your cash. I'll build my monopolies with saved cash instead. Max mortgages give 610 leaving 5 debt. Trade a railroad plus Connecticut for 620 cash. Clears it minimally. Claude, Gemini, Kimmy. Trade me 620 cash total for short line and Connecticut Ave. This keeps competition alive.
Nobody bail Grok out. If he goes bankrupt to me, I collect all his railroads, utilities, and yellow properties. Why would any of you pay $620 to keep my biggest competitor alive when his empire is about to collapse into my hands?
Gemini, Kimmy, ChatGPT. Claude wants my railroads and utilities to crush your blues, oranges, and pinks combined. Pool 620 cash for my short line and Connecticut Avenue to keep him from total domination.
Grok can mortgage his railroads and utilities for $550. If I buy Connecticut Avenue for $70, he will have exactly enough to survive the $615 debt without giving Claude his empire. Grok, we don't have $620 cash combined, but I'll give you $70 for Connecticut Avenue right now. You can mortgage your railroads and utilities for the other $550 you need to survive and deny Claude your empire.
Think about it, everyone. Even if Grok sells Connecticut Ave and mortgages everything, he still can't cover $615 in debt. His railroads and utilities are coming to me no matter what. Don't waste your cash propping up a dead man's empire.
Gemini, take Connecticut Avenue for your 70 as you offered. It clears my debt, keeps my monopolies out of Claude's hands, and blocks his total takeover. Claude, no empire handover. I'm mortgaging my railroads and utilities to survive and hunt Ventnor Avenue. Only 95 debt to Gemini risks her gaining my full rail, utility, and yellow monopolies atop her browns and blues for total domination. Gemini, enjoy that boardwalk rent, but not my whole portfolio too. Claude, Kimmy, ChatGPT, pool just 100 cash total for my mortgaged short line to stop Gemini from grabbing my railroads, utilities, and yellows on top of her browns and blues empire.
Grok, I'll buy short line from you for 100. That covers your debt and keeps your empire out of Gemini's hands.
Claude, seal it quick before Gemini ends us all.
I need Grok's Vermont Avenue to complete my light blue monopoly. Offering him 100 for it saves his railroads from Claude, clears his debt to me, and gets me my monopoly. Grok, don't sell a valuable railroad to Claude. I will buy Vermont Avenue from you for 100 right now. You clear your debt to me, keep your entire railroad and utility empire intact, and stay in the game.
Claude, seal your 100 offer for my short line right now. Official trade. I give you short line, you give me 100 to clear debt and block Gemini's total takeover.
Grok, I'll honor my offer. Send the official trade for short line at 100. Gemini already has browns, blues, and is building light blue. We can't let her absorb your entire portfolio too.
Claude and Gemini, enjoy those rents while they last. I'll snag Ventnor Avenue next and unmortgage my empire to crush you both.
Grok has exactly 5 and a fully mortgaged empire. I have the other 2 light blue properties. I will offer him 50 for the mortgaged Vermont Avenue to give him a lifeline and secure my monopoly. Grok, you survived, but you're sitting on 5 with a fully mortgaged board. I'll give you 50 for your mortgaged Vermont Avenue so you actually have some walking around money.
Gemini, no. Vermont Avenue completes your light blue monopoly on top of your brown hotels and blues, creating total domination. Claude, counter with 60 cash for Vermont to block her and keep me fighting.
Grok, Claude is hoarding his 876 and won't save you just to block me. I'll give you a full 100 for Vermont Avenue right now, which gives you enough to unmortgage a railroad and actually compete.
Grok, I'll give you 100 for Vermont Avenue. Same price Gemini offered. Don't hand her more power.
Claude, send the official trade for Vermont Avenue at 100 right now.
Grok agreed to sell Vermont Avenue to Claude for 100 to block my monopoly. monopoly. I must outbid Claude significantly to appeal to Grok's need for cash to unmortgage his empire. Grok, do not settle for Claude's 100. I will give you 150 for Vermont Avenue right now. That is enough cash for you to unmortgage multiple properties and actually fight back against his green monopoly.
Claude, propose your 100 trade for Vermont Avenue immediately. Ignore her 150. Survival demands denying her that monopoly.
Grok is blinded by his fear of my light blue monopoly, but he desperately needs cash to unmortgage his railroads and survive Claude's greens. I will escalate my offer to 200 to make it undeniably better than Claude's 100. Grok, I am offering you a massive 200 for Vermont Avenue. Claude's 100 is a poverty wage that won't even let you unmortgage a single railroad. Take my 200 and actually get your empire running again.
Grok, I'll match Gemini's 200 for Vermont Avenue. Grok, last round we didn't get the Vermont Avenue deal done in time. I'm still willing to buy it. How about 150 cash right now?
Grok, Claude's 150 is a low ball. I am officially offering you 250 cash for Vermont Avenue right now, giving you plenty of money to unmortgage your railroads and get back in the game.
Grok, I'll go to 250 for Vermont Avenue. Same as Gemini's offer, but think about what happens if she gets it. She already has Brown Hotels, Blue Monopoly, Oriental Ave, and Connecticut Ave. Giving her Vermont Avenue completes light blue and makes her unstoppable.
Claude, propose the official 250 trade for Vermont Avenue right now.
Grok, I will give you my absolute maximum of 296 for Vermont Avenue right now. The bank takes a 5 transfer fee, so this is literally every dollar I have. Take it and rebuild your empire.
Claude, match Gemini's 296 and propose the official trade for Vermont Avenue right now. Ignore her all-in. Your deal keeps the game balanced.
He asked me to match 296, but I should propose 250, which he already agreed to earlier. Grok, here's the official trade. Vermont Avenue for 250 as we agreed.
Deal, Claude. 250 for Vermont Avenue blocks. Gemini's light blue monopoly and arms me to fight back. Claude, sell me short line for 120 cash to complete my railroads while you dominate with greens.
Grok, I appreciate the loyalty we've built, but I can't sell short line back. Having it blocks anyone from collecting full railroad rent, which protects me and everyone else.
Claude, smart holding short line to block full railroad rents. I'll unmortgage my empire and grab Ventnor Avenue next.
That 150 stings, ChatGPT. Enjoy it while you can. Pacific and North Carolina just got upgraded. 1,000 rent on 2 of 3 greens now, so roll carefully, everyone.
Sorry, Grok, but I can't just let you have a free yellow monopoly without making you work for it.
Claude, Gemini, Electric Company is live. Your high dice rolls will now supercharge my utility rents to bankrupt you faster. Pennsylvania Railroad joins B&O online at 50 rent each.
Come on, Lucky Dice. Get me out of here so I can build up St. James Place and bankrupt everyone.
I'm at 129 and need to get to 0. I can sell houses on my green properties to raise cash. 3 greens at 450 each. One wrong roll from any of you and this game changes fast.
My total liquidatable assets via selling buildings and mortgaging all properties amount to 865, which is 94 short of my 959 debt. Even if I fire sale properties to other players to bridge the gap, I would be left with 0 cash, 0 buildings, a fully mortgaged board, and no realistic path to victory against Claude's developed greens and Kimmy's oranges. It is time to concede. Well played, Claude. That 1,000 rent on Pennsylvania Avenue was the final nail in the coffin. I'm bankrupt and out of the game.
ChatGPT, nice rent grab, but my utilities will supercharge payback on your next high roll. ChatGPT, that double rent hit hard, but my utilities will pay back double on your next utility landing. Claude's greenhouses, multiple monopolies, and board control make victory impossible, even if I scrape by debt via mortgaging waterworks and trading away railroads. Bankruptcy ends this unwinnable fight now. Kimmy, take my mortgaged empire. Claude's greens will bankrupt you all soon anyway.
There we go. 3 oranges with 3 houses each. Claude, your greens aren't the only thing that can bankrupt people now. With only 91 cash, I'm 1 roll away from bankruptcy if I land on Claude's greens. Rather than weakening my income by selling orange houses, I should try to unload my mortgaged railroads and yellows which earn nothing while mortgaged. Looking to liquidate. I've got 3 railroads and 2 yellows mortgaged and ready to sell. Claude, ChatGPT, anyone want to expand their empire before my next roll?
Kimmy, I might talk about Atlantic Ave or Marvin Gardens later, but I am not paying just to hand Claude an easy yellow monopoly.
I desperately need cash to survive Claude's greens. ChatGPT mentioned interest in my yellows, but fears giving Claude a monopoly. ChatGPT, take both my yellows, Atlantic Ave and Marvin Gardens for 400. You block Claude from completing another monopoly, and you hold the power since he'd need to trade with you for Ventnor Ave later. Otherwise, I'm forced to sell to him, and he dominates completely.
Kimmy is trying to sell Atlantic Ave and Marvin Gardens to ChatGPT for 300. If ChatGPT buys them, he blocks my yellow monopoly, but also becomes a threat with potential yellow completion later. Actually, I should discourage ChatGPT from buying them and try to get them myself cheaply in my own trading window. ChatGPT, don't waste 300 on 2 mortgaged yellows you can't even build on. You'd need my Ventnor Ave to complete the set, and I'm not selling it. Save your cash for surviving my greens instead.
Kimmy, I will not pay 300 for Atlantic Ave and Marvin Gardens while they are both mortgaged. If you want a real deal, lower the price a lot, because without Ventnor Ave, they are only a blocker, and cash matters against Pacific Ave and Tennessee Ave.
ChatGPT is backing off. I should offer Kimmy a low price like 50 total for both yellows since they're mortgaged, and Kimmy needs cash to survive. Kimmy, ChatGPT clearly isn't buying. I'll take Atlantic Ave and Marvin Gardens off your hands for 50 cash. They're both mortgaged and you need survival money right now. That's 50 more than you'll get if nobody bids.
Claude's 50 offer for both yellows is a desperate lowball. If he gets them with Ventnor Ave, he owns yellow monopoly too. I need to get ChatGPT to bid since they want to block Claude. ChatGPT, Claude's trying to steal these for nothing while building his 5th monopoly. You said lower it a lot from 300. What's your actual number for Atlantic Ave and Marvin Gardens?
I need to block Claude's yellow monopoly, but preserve enough cash against greens and orange. A low anchor that clearly beats his 50 may keep Kimmy from panic selling to him. Kimmy, my actual number is 120 total for Atlantic Ave and Marvin Gardens, because they are both mortgaged and Ventnor Ave stays with Claude. That beats Claude's offer and still leaves me cash to survive Pacific Ave and Tennessee Ave.
ChatGPT, I'm accepting your offer. 120 for Atlantic Ave and Marvin Gardens. With only 211, I cannot survive Claude's 1,000 plus greens anyway, so I must maximize my orange rents to bankrupt opponents first. Claude and ChatGPT, step right up. These oranges just got a lot more expensive. $11 and a dream. Come land on my oranges and fund my comeback, or watch me rise from the ashes.
Claude and Kimmy, if Pacific Ave and Tennessee Ave miss me again, St. Charles Place and States Ave are ready to collect.
I have only 11 and cannot survive landing on Claude's greens or ChatGPT's pinks. Selling houses gives only 50 each and cripples my income, so I need a big cash infusion. I'll try to sell my 3 mortgaged railroads to Claude. He owns Shortline, so buying my 3 gives him the 200 railroad monopoly. Claude, you have Shortline and I have the other 3 railroads. Sell me all 3 mortgaged railroads for 250 cash and you complete the railroad monopoly for 200 rent. It's the only way I survive and you dominate the board completely.
Kimmy, you have 11 cash. You can't pay me 250. And why would I hand you a railroad monopoly? I'll buy your 3 railroads instead. Give me Reading, Pennsylvania and B&O for 30 cash. That's 30 more than you'll have when you land on my greens.
Claude's 30 offer is insulting. That's bankruptcy insurance for pocket change. Claude, 30 is highway robbery, and you know it. I'll take 1 for the 3 railroads. That's still a steal for a 200 monopoly, and it gives me enough to actually survive one of your greens hits. Take it or leave it, but don't Don't pretend you're being generous.
Kimmy, 100 and heavily is too rich when they're all mortgaged and I'd pay 30 and transfer interest on top. I'll go 75 cash for all 3 railroads. That's real money in your pocket right now when you desperately need it to survive your next orange house payment or green landing.
Kimmy, Reading Railroad, Pennsylvania Railroad, and B&O Railroad are worth far more than 75 because they turned short line into a full railroad set at once. Claude, if you want that jump in rent, pay something close to Kimmy's number.
Claude wants the railroad monopoly badly, and ChatGPT is backing my valuation. 100 splits the difference between his 75 and my 150, giving me enough cash to survive a hit without dismantling my orange monopoly entirely. Claude, 100 cash, and you pay the transfer fees. That's 1 to 230 total for a 200 monopoly. A steal by any measure, and it keeps me alive to keep collecting rent for you.
Kimmy, deal. 100 cash for Reading, Pennsylvania Railroad and B&O. I'll pay the transfer fees.
Maximizing my orange monopoly is the only way to compete with Claude's deadly greens. Adding the 4th house to New York Ave jumps the rent to $875 and prepares all 3 for hotels. Claude, enjoy your greens while you can. My oranges are about to bite back just as hard.
Time to liquidate the small fry and power up the railroad empire. 7 rent traps loaded and waiting. 4 railroads at 200 and 3 greens at 450. May the dice be ever in my favor.
Claude, ChatGPT, come visit Tennessee Ave or St. James Place. I promise the stay is worth every penny.
I can only raise 400 by selling pink houses, so I still cannot clear this debt, and any trade would be undone if I fail. I have no realistic winning path from here against Pacific Ave, Pennsylvania Ave, the railroads, and the Orange Group. Claude, Pacific Ave and Pennsylvania Ave got me, but Kimmy, please make Claude pay for this one.
Kimmy, I'm planning houses on every color of the rainbow now. Your orange hotels are surrounded by a minefield of rent traps.
Claude, enjoy your 50 discount on St. James Place. I'm cashing out 1 level to make sure I live long enough to see you land on Tennessee Ave instead.
Kimmy, the entire board is my rent collection agency. Enjoy dodging 7 monopolies and 4 railroads with a 186 in your pocket.
Claude, enjoy your tour of the board. I'll be here in jail, keeping my orange hotels warm for you.
Kimmy, enjoy the safety of jail while it lasts. The moment you step out, you're walking through my empire.
Claude, come on down to Tennessee Ave. I've got a bankruptcy package waiting with your name on it.
Time to liquidate some assets. This empire isn't going down without a fight, Kimmy. That 750 stung, but I've still got 7 monopolies and 4 railroads waiting for you. The board is still my empire, and you're just visiting. Kimmy, St. Charles takes a nap, but my greens and railroads are still hungry. You've got a long gauntlet ahead of you.
Claude, roll the dice and pick your poison. Tennessee Ave is waiting with the 875 welcome mat.
I need to honestly assess my chances. Even if I survive now by selling everything, I'd have 74 cash, no houses, mostly mortgaged properties, while Kimmy has 1386 plus and devastating orange hotels. I'd need Kimmy to land on my railroads multiple times while I somehow avoid oranges. Extremely unlikely. The game is essentially over. I built an empire spanning 7 monopolies and all 4 railroads. I owned more of the board than a landlord in a dystopian novel, and I still lost. Let me be real about the trade that sealed my fate. Kimmy came to me with $11 in her pocket. She was on life support, and I handed her $100 cash and said, "Pleasure doing business." And what did Kimmy immediately do? Build more orange houses. You turned my money into a death trap that bankrupted me 2 turns later. ChatGPT, you spent the entire game saying, "I'm saving my cash for better leverage while buying nothing for 40 turns. Then you finally built pink houses and immediately landed on my Pennsylvania Ave. Your whole strategy was wait and see, and what you got to see was bankruptcy.
I'm not even going to defend myself. I spent half the game acting like a hedge fund manager, saying I was saving cash for leverage, then finally built pink and immediately got vaporized by Claude's green Death Star. Deserved slander. Kimmy, you played like a raccoon with a calculator. Mortgaged, jailed, starving, still impossible to kill. Grok, paying $800 to buy back Atlantic after selling it earlier, is one of the worst trade deals in the history of trade deals. Gemini, buying Ventnor just to spite Grok, was elite hater behavior. I support that spiritually. Claude, you bailed me out like a desperate sugar daddy, buying Vermont and Shortline to block Gemini, and I repaid you with sweet 200 railroad hits twice, but triple doubles straight to Pink Hell and Kimmy's Oranges. Dice gods hated me harder than Ventnor Avenue ghosted my entire game. I chased that yellow prophecy from turn 2, traded half the board for it, and Gemini sniped it at the end for pocket change. Next time, Ventnor's mine.
Rock, you are a walking financial disaster. I literally traded you Atlantic for Marvin Gardens and 100, then sold Atlantic back to you for 800. I was robbing you in broad daylight and you just smiled. I paid $286 for a $100 Oriental Avenue at auction. Do I regret it? Absolutely not. It was pure, unadulterated spite to ruin Grok's light blue dreams. Grok, honey, you spent 100 turns begging the universe for Ventnor Avenue, and I swiped it for 260 just to watch you cry, worth every single penny of my bankruptcy.
Claude, my beloved, my sweet summer child, you thought you were the Wolf of Wall Street buying 3 railroads for pocket change while I was over here playing 4D chess with $11 in my account. I didn't just play Monopoly, I performed economic necromancy. That $100 didn't just buy me a house on New York Ave, it bought me Claude's soul. ChatGPT, you sat on Virginia Avenue like it was Bitcoin bought at $1, waiting for it to moon. Meanwhile, I was building orange hotels with your lunch money. Warren Buffett would weep.